Hey everyone, my name is Becca and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time with us, welcome. We focus on all things First Chapter Friday on this channel, specifically for middle grade novels such as this one, Shot Clock. This is the book we are going to be reading the first chapter of today, and it is written by Caron Butler and Justin A. Reynolds. So a little bit about those two people. I'm going to go ahead to the back of the book. It gives some info. So Caron Butler was actually on the NBA and played for 14 seasons. And he's now the assistant coach of the Miami Heat. He was a commentator for ESPN. He's obviously very, very involved in the world of basketball. And then we have Justin Reynolds, who I think many of us are familiar with, who has written novels such as Opposite of Always, Early Departures, and also some graphic novels like Shockwaves. So we are in for a treat here with this novel, Shot Clock. Really excited to dive into it with you. We're going to start off by reading the front and side cover, which is going to give us a little synopsis and tell us a little bit of what this book is going to be about. There's a big piece of tape from my library over half of the synopsis here. So as I read, I'm going to do my best to decipher what's underneath. Bear with me. Tony loves basketball, but the game changed recently when his best friend Dante, a hoops phenom, and the kid he looked up to most, was killed by a police officer. Tony and his community, Oasis Springs, are dealing with the grief, even as justice for his friend seems fleeting. Tony hopes he can carry on Dante's legacy by making the Sabres, an AAU basketball team Dante took to 2 national championships. The Sabres are one of the best teams around. After all, not every team has a former NBA All-Star as its coach. Coach James likes what he sees from Tony at tryouts, but he still doesn't make the team. Tony takes the devastating news hard until Coach James offers him another chance. Join the team as a statistician. Tony has a sharp mind for the game, and with help from Kiera, Coach James' daughter, he makes an impact in his new role, even if it's hard watching his friends play. As the team finds its stride, Tony faces another setback. The officer who killed his friend will be back on the job. With his community reeling and the team just finding its footing on the court, can Tony find a path to healing while helping bring the Sabres a championship? Former NBA All-Star Caron Butler and acclaimed author Justin Reynolds deliver the first book of a new series about the power of basketball, family, friendship, and community. A lot to process just in that synopsis alone. I'm like, oh, maybe we should just stop here and take a breather. But on we march. So this novel, first, I just loved this. It's just like a little note here that says, to every kid wondering if you can change the game, you can. So for all of those of you who are listening right now, know that. Now, we get a little extra bonus. The first chapter of this novel doesn't start for a few pages. We get a little prologue, so to speak, I guess, first. It's called the warm-up. I guess maybe you could call it a prologue. We get to read that and the first chapter, so sit tight, guys. Get comfy. So this is the warm-up. I'm starting. It's 2 against 1. Not that it matters. The twins were trash-talking all day at school, saying Dante should just punk out now, save himself the humiliation. The hurting we gon' put on you, man, like I almost feel bad, the slightly taller twin says as he checks the ball to start the game. It's not going to be like last time, bruh, the other twin promises. We really bout to mop you up, D. But D doesn't snap back, just smiles like he knows something they don't. But I know, too. D was the number 2 ranked high school player in the whole country last year, as a sophomore. But this past year, I watched him elevate his game to new heights. Sunday through Saturday, he put in work. Days drenched in sweat during the July heat wave. December nights half frozen as we shoveled mountains of wet snow off Paradise Court so he could work on his footwork. I was right there with him, putting up thousands, no, tens of thousands of shots, zigzagging around the orange cones Coach James gave D, dragging the dirty orange construction barrels from the potholes they weren't fixing on Ellison Ave and pretending they were defenders, hurdling them as we knifed in for layups, corkscrewed for one-handed floaters. Some nights, it'd be raining so hard, Mom made me stay in. Said, "What kind of ball player you gonna be when you catch pneumonia, Tone?" And I wondered if Dee was gonna skip practice too. But then, from my bed, my window slightly open, I'd hear chicka, chicka, chicka. Most nights I listened to Dee dance all over the court until my eyes were too heavy to keep open. The sounds, always the same. Thwack, thwack, swirp, chicka. Translation, dribble, dribble, spin, and pull up, swish. Or thwack, thwack, crunch, crunch, chicka. Translation, dribble, dribble, setback, swish. The crunch only happening when you were on the north end of the court, where the concrete's crumbled so bad it's basically gravel. But whatever, that's not stopping anybody from jab stepping behind the spray-painted three-point line and splashing on whoever wants it, especially when the ball's in Dee's hands, like now. I told Mom I pushed my bed under the window so I could catch the breeze, because in the summertime it's hot enough to melt an ice cream truck. But to be real, I just wanted to be able to sit in bed and watch the court. Sometimes I pretend my fourth-story bedroom is the Fizzer Forum, where the Milwaukee Bucks play, and I'm sitting way up in one of those skyboxes like a celebrity. I act like the TV cameras are aimed at me, and I smile and salute, or I make as if I'm so into the game I don't even notice them. But the twins, they are most definitely noticing Dee right now. No question, he has their undivided attention. Every time the ball leaves Dee's hands, people standing around the court chime, cha-ching, cha-ching, like the cash register at a corner store. That's how money Dee's jumper is. Sometimes he doesn't even watch it sail through the net. He's already walking back to the line for his next possession, updating the score. 6-1 me, 7-1 me, 8-2 me. But sometimes Dee pauses to admire his work, his eyes following the ball's perfect arc, its beautiful rotation until it splashes through the tattered nylon. Every time his new KDs leave the asphalt, it's like he's launching into space, his chest square, elbows bent, ball rolling off his long fingertips. You match up against Dee, the outcome is always the same. Like watching reruns of your favorite show. It's just a matter of how you want it. That's about as much trash talk as Dee serves up. That and his favorite phrase, all day. As in, I can do this all day. Dee will put you on skates with his crossover, then pull back and wait for you to regain your balance. And you know he could have blown past you and gone to the rack, but he's toying with you. And after you pick yourself up off the ground, dust the gravel from your knees, he looks you dead in your scared eyes and asks, how you want it? As in, you want this jumper? You want this dribble drive? You want this spin move up and under? I'm telling you, I've seen this episode so many times. The introduction. Some dude swears on his mama he's gonna lock Dee up. All, he ain't about to get nan points on me, watch. And then Dee working the perimeter, launching jumper after jumper, dead in the defender's grill. Cha-ching, cha-ka. The conflict. Now the defender's all in his feelings because everybody's posting his butt whooping on the gram. Plus they're oohing and ahhing and cackling, and Dee's not even saying anything because his game is his mouth. But the defender's heated like, whatever, man, all he's got is that pull-up. Bring that weak stuff in the paint. See if I don't sweat it 500 light years into the future. The resolution. Dee only smiles, then goes right at dude with an array of spin moves so dazzling he's got washers and dryers drooling, finishing with every kind of layup, left hand, right hand, up and under, off glass, every angle. All day, Dee says softly, walking back to check ball. So how you want it now? But sometimes, every now and then, the defender timed his jump perfectly with Dee's. The defender's long arms stretching, his fingers reaching to reject Dee's layup. He's happy, you can see it on his face, because he's finally about to shut Dee up. Put this on YouTube, he's thinking. only to see his eyes widen in surprise the moment he realizes that while he's on his way back to the concrete without even getting a fingernail on the ball, D's still rising, elevating, the kid practically levitating up, up, up. The sun over his shoulder gleaming bright enough to make everybody squint. The ball scooped between D's wrist and forearm. The two halves of his body seemingly going in opposite directions before he lets the ball glide off his fingers, spiraling as it kisses high off the backboard. The net doesn't even move as the ball slips through. That's the thing about D. He has everything going for him. Handles, deadly jumper, range for days, the kind of suffocating defense that made the dudes he was guarding mad frustrated. D's built for this game. Tall, strong, crazy quick. He jumps out the gym. Seriously, nobody gets up like D. Nobody. So who would have guessed that only a few hours later, D wouldn't get up at all? First quarter, chapter 1. I feel like I need a minute just from the intro alone. Sleeping's my superpower. I sleep through screaming alarms, neighbors, and babies. 34 police cars can roll into Oasis Springs, sirens howling, officers barking. I'm not flinching. Last summer, a whole chopper landed on our roof. It felt like an earthquake, Munka swears, like the building was collapsing. I slept like a baby. Except now, I forgot how to sleep. The harder I try, the tighter I squeeze my eyes, the further away sleep gets. I've tried every trick: sheep counting, window opening, milk warming. Tonight, I took a long hot shower until Dad shouted through the door, "Boy, I'm taking the water bill out of your allowance." To which I reply, what allowance? I mean, I say it under my breath, 'cause I ain't stupid, but whatever. I'm so desperate for sleep. I run through algebra equations in my head, and I know you're all, major nerd alert, yuck, Tony, who likes math? To which I reply, hold up. Who said I like math? I'm just good at it. The point is, nothing works. I lost my superpower, and I may never sleep good again. But okay, you want the capital T truth? Probably there's part of me that doesn't want to sleep, that's fighting sleep like it's a supervillain. Because that same part of me knows that nowadays, sleep comes packaged with every flavor of bad dreams. The kind that scare you awake, your forehead and back soaked in cold sweat, and your heart high jumping out of your chest. You're almost choking to catch your breath. And the other thing holding my sleep hostage? Tomorrow. Because tomorrow's may be the most important day of my life. All right, that is the intro and the first chapter of Shot Clock. I can already tell this book is going to be really important, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest. I don't know about you. If you enjoyed this first chapter Friday Read Aloud, please consider liking and subscribing. Many more First Chapter Friday Read Alouds to come. Until next time, my friends, happy reading.